All right. Good evening, Hector. Thank you for coming in today. After going through your assessment paperwork, I noticed that you have had a hard time getting back to a normal status, if you will, with having had the auto accident 5 months ago and then the 4 months in the hospital. Um, how has that been affecting you? Like, are you experiencing any other issues at this time?
Yes, my leg and hip are in awful pain. Um, I'm just, I don't know, I'm just really depressed. Um, I'm angry. I can't work in what I grew up working in. My family owned a construction company, and I worked there from high school all the way till recently, and I'm unable to do that anymore. I just feel useless. I don't want my wife to have to work.
Well, I mean, of course, that makes sense. I mean, with us being men, we're kind of stubborn in that sense, that mind sense of we want to be the ones that want to bring in the money, be the breadwinner, so that our wives don't have to work. I mean, I can't even begin to know what you're going through, and I wish I could relate to that, but here I am.
Yeah, I just feel useless. I, I just with my pain, I just spend a lot of time drinking and watching television. I don't know what to do.
I mean, with you mentioned the whole alcohol, like how often are you drinking? Are you drinking like on like a daily basis?
Well, I'm ashamed to say it, but it's definitely a daily basis. I'm just in so much pain. Um,
What are you doing?
I just
I
don't know.
want some homework.
Just don't know what to do.
What?
No,
Why?
I'm doing homework, silly.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be. I'm sorry. Hey, I'll lay with you in a bit.
What is me?
I will play with you in a minute.
Why?
Because I'm not supposed to have anyone else on this video, Elena. We can make a video later. Not right now. I will make a video after I'm done with my homework, okay? I love you. I go hang out with mama. I will hang out with you. I apologize for that, Hector. Having family, it kind of sometimes overlaps with my job, and I do apologize for that. I'll try to be more focused on you.
And I know what you're. I mean, I know that's hard for me to. I'm withdrawn from my wife and my children. Um, just that I have a tense relationship with them, and I'm just angry all the time, and I'm withdrawn from them.
Prior to this injuries, and of course, did you drink alcohol and watch a lot of TV, or were you like constantly uh
Um, yeah, that was not part of my. That was not part of my life. I was really focused on my job and my career, and providing for my family.
yeah,
Without that, I just feel kind of lost.
I can understand that. Are you looking for work at this time? And if not, why?
I'm really not. Um, I just feel like um, I just want to be doing the job that I was trained to do and do what I've known my whole life.
it's kind of hard to be broken away from that, especially when you've been doing it pretty much all your life and having been a family business. I mean, I had a I came from a family that had a family business, and I didn't want to, I honestly, unlike yourself, I wanted nothing to do with it. So trying to kind of on two polar opposites here. You wanted to stay in the family business, and me, I turned tail and ran away. Uh,
I just don't know what I'm gonna do to make a living.
well, I mean, have you discussed what some of the options are with your family or your yeah? Have you discussed any options with your family at this time?
Well, my family's reached out to me. I usually try to avoid them. Um, it just reminds me of what I can no longer do. I just feel shame. Feel shame because I'm I'm useless. I'm hurt and can't help. Uh, yeah, I don't.
With your anger, what was that, Hector?
It's hard for me to be around them.
Ah, what? You
Doing homework for school, Elena.
what? She wants to come down here now. Ah,
Uh, so I mean, so you've withdrawn from your family. You're angry. Have you had any like outbursts with your family, or is it just been more like just withdrawn and not like trying to be around people?
Yeah, I think it's just more withdrawn and just trying to keep to myself. I'm not going to be around them.
what? So,
Hey,
I feel like I'm just no good for them.
with your drinking, how often are you drinking something that has alcohol in it?
Well, it's definitely every day. I'm ashamed to say that, but
So we're looking at like 4 times a week at least. Wow, damn. When you are drinking, when you said every day on a typical day, how many drinks are you drinking that have alcohol?
I'm um, usually just what it takes to numb the pain. Um,
Like if you could give a number out of like 1 or 10, something of that range, what would you guess you would be?
I would say probably 10 beers a day would be accurate.
How often when well, let's answer that question because you just said you drank 10 or more. So I mean, my next question was to ask would have been how often do you have 6 or more drinks on one occasion? And you just answered that.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that.
During the past year, how often have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you had started? Were you able to put it down at all, or are you just drinking just to silence the pain and try and feel somewhat better?
Definitely to silence the pain and the pain and the shame, the physical and mental as well.
And with you being unable to work, I'm going to assume that because of your drinking, you haven't, and you're not looking for work, you haven't been able to do what you feel is expected of you.
Yeah, that's in despair. I don't know who I am anymore.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, like we discussed a moment ago, with your having it been a family business and you were working in it all your life, and then just to have this injury, this unfortunate accident come upon you. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine how that must make you feel, and I wish I could relate to that. I really do. That way, I would have an easier time of understanding you. Excuse me. Sorry for coughing. Oh. So when you get up in the mornings, do you find yourself grabbing a beer or an alcohol of some sort, like the minute you open your eyes?
Yes, or not long after.
When drinking, do you have a feeling of guilt or remorse, like you shouldn't be doing this? Or within the last 5 months, within the last few months, how often have you been able to remember what happened the night before because you have been drinking? Like, do you remember anything from the previous night?
And I just remember, no, not really.
Are you having flashbacks lately due to the pain or due to the accident? Like you might be having that accident all over again, just to come to the realization that you are just still just sitting in your chair.
Yes, I often flash back to what caused this, and it definitely adds to the depression. But it's always, what if I would have done something different, could have changed my circumstances.
Have you had a friend or a relative or a doctor or someone along the lines that has shown concern about your drinking and suggested that you cut down?
Yes, and my wife for sure.
I can see that. So speaking of your wife, how has your relationship with your wife been following the accident and you're sinking into the depression and basically becoming a recluse, if you will?
I can only explain it as tense. I mean, it's just a constant tension. Uh, she knows that I'm hurting. She doesn't agree with the way that I handle it, but uh, she doesn't know what to do either.
How are your do you have children?
I have two sons.
How are they doing? How are they handling with the situation?
They're just worried about me. Um, I'm not active with them. Again, withdrawn from them and my wife, and so I know that they're worried about me, but they don't know how to help me.
Stop.
Elena,
I'm having that storm.
I know we're having a storm. Thank you. Uh, Elena, can you please go back to your toys? Thank you. Uh, I love having a family. Uh, so you back go. Let's backtrack here. Why do you think what use am I now? Like what what is giving you those thoughts?
Just I guess when you have a career and you kind of build your identity on that, you don't know who's left if that's gone, right? And so just depressed. I just don't know who I am. I don't know where I fit.
Are there any options right now with you being unable to work that may be able to help your family, like keep your family afloat?
As far as aid from the government, or
Well, not necessarily aid from the government, but like, would your wife want to work? Would you be okay with her working?
I really wouldn't. I don't want her to work. Um,
All right. Well, with you having these issues and with the drinking, I think we should try and set up some goals to make some changes so that we can bring you out of this alcohol addiction. And even though you can't possibly be like the blue collar worker you were in the construction business, if you have been working in it for so long, for however many years, you could possibly move into more of a office position and show your skills that way. But with the drinking, uh, I would like for you, like, we should discuss something like if you have like a smartphone, one of the smartphones, or you can even put this on the refrigerator, is keep a record of your drinking, of like how often you drink, um, what are you drinking, stuff of that nature. And then also while doing that, um, maybe get outside of the house for a little bit, honestly, instead of being um, like blocked off from the world. Get outside, go for a walk. When you feel like having a drink, don't fall into that temptation. And then when you succeed and not fall into that temptation, write it down so that as time goes on, you'll be able to see, hey, you'll be able to look at this list or your screen, whatever you're keeping track on, and you'll be able to be like, instead of having a drink 3 days ago, I went for a quick walk, or I went and played catch with my kids, or something to that effect, or helped my children with their homework. And when you look at see what you did instead of drinking, you'd be like, there is another outlet. Another question I can ask you is, are you a man of faith? And if so, are you struggling at it right now because of this accident and because of your drinking?
I mean, I believe in God, but I don't. Doesn't seem to have helped me.
Sorry to hear that. Even in my darkest times, I relied on God. And one thing you can also do is get involved in like a I guess they can be at
Can't keep interrupting them.
um is look for like a recovery group. In some of these recovery groups, yeah, they deal with some of the hardline stuff like cocaine, fentanyl, marijuana, any of that nature. But I'm sure they'd be more than happy to welcome you in with open arms and help you work through your issues so that you can go through your recovery, give up for lack of better words, give up the heavy drinking, and find some way to get back in the saddle and just keep pushing forward. I mean, is there any ideas that you may have that may help you, excuse me, that you think might be able to help you, keep the drinking down to a minimum, or possibly, um, give it up entirely? Like,
A recovery program would be helpful, yes.
all right, after our meeting here, I'll get in touch with some local groups, and I'll figure out what might be best for you, and you can go from there, decide which would be your best. And it could be like distance, it could be if it's at a church, it could be in someone's home, or if it could be at just any old building where you'll be able to escape away from the temptations of wanting to drink, um, possibly get advice like how we've discussed here, some of the things that you can do to lighten the drinking, if you will. And like we said, we talked about putting it in writing, and you can make a list of the reasons why you want to quit the drinking. It could be feeling healthier, sleeping better, or even like you mentioned with the relationship with your wife right now being tense. Um, you could use it as a stepping stone to improve your relationships, which will then motivate you to put down the alcohol. Um, Instead of the 10 beers a day, try and knock it down to 5, and then keep like like right now you're at 10, like you said, 10. Next week, try and drink no more than like 8 a day, and slowly find your way to wean yourself off of this addiction, so that it's not causing effects that it's having on you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
And like we talked about, also keep a diary or a journal. This goes back to putting it in writing, and it'll give you an idea of how you having a step progression of going from 10, 9, 8, 7, so forth and so on. And I'm always here if you have trouble sticking to your goal, trying to get there. And my door is always open. I'll also do video chats, anything that can help you break this cycle and get back to being the man that you want to be. I'm here for you. Um, Another idea is, and this might be tough for you, is don't keep alcohol in your house.
Mhm.
And by doing that, um, you can significantly help you limit your drinking. Um, um, uh, when you are drinking, sip it. Don't chug it, or what these youngins do nowadays, pounding it or what have you. And to help dilute it, drinks like something like water or a soda or a glass of like orange juice. Um, I'm sorry. Um, I will say this much. If you do have alcohol, please do not drink on an empty stomach. Eat something like that has some like carbs in it, like a cheeseburger, grilled cheese, something that will slow the absorption of the alcohol. That way, you have a little bit more control over your thoughts and over your actions. And also, one thing that can really help, in my opinion, is have an alcohol-free day. See what that does for you. See if you can notice a huge difference. And so you don't need to rely on having alcohol. to numb the pain. And this goes back to putting it right or setting a drinking goal. Is instead of having alcohol that day, like I said, go play with the kids. Go see a movie, go for a walk. But just get out of the house, get away from what can cause the need to have the alcohol. Don't let your inner thoughts dictate that you need to drink. Don't let the addiction take such a huge control of you that you just can't walk away from it. And I've talked to a lot of people in the past that they'll say, "Oh yeah, it's easy to walk away," and for some people, yeah. Others, no. Um, if you're out with friends, and from the looks of things right now, it doesn't seem like you are. But if you do go out, don't feel pressured to have a drink with your buddies just because they're drinking. Um, like if they try to tell you to have a drink, go walk away from the situation. Like I said, you can keep yourself busy, going for a walk, playing sports, hanging with your pick up a hobby. Like I'll use myself as an example. I was diagnosed a while back with some issues, and for me, my escape from reality was building Lego. It's something that it's something that I could easily focus on. Do you play any instruments? Do you have any or like woodworking? Something that will take your mind off of the need to drink. That will take your mind off of the demons or the issues going on. Like, is there anything that has piqued your interest?
Yeah, I do like to play the guitar. Yeah.
One thing you can ask for is even though while things are tense with your wife and kids, is be open with them. Do your best to try and be open with them and let them know that you are trying to make a change so that the alcohol doesn't take complete control of your life and that you want to be there for them. You want to be there for them. You don't want the alcohol to become your entire personality. And like I said, I'm always here as your counselor and therapist to give you the to give you the assistance and some direction that you might need. We can set up appointments once a week, twice a week, whatever you feel like that may help you with your recovery. Um, Something else is staying away from like places or people that may make you want to drink. Um, like like going to a baseball game. And I'll just use that as an example. Is I know some guys that when they go to the Reds game down the road, they'll get a beer, a dog, and a pretzel and be happy. And then there's other guys that they'll just drink nonstop and not really enjoy the game. And one thing I would do is if you go down to the game, immediately grab yourself a soda. Don't fall into the temptation of wanting to drink. And if the temptation is too strong, then avoid such areas, whether it's go to a restaurant that serves alcohol or going out to a friend's house that has alcohol. Elena. Um,
No. No.
when you're feeling that urge, when you're feeling those demons from the accident, from your stress, from your worries, with like the limping and the cane and everything, just keep a track of them. Like like we said, with this, and this goes back to the whole journal thing, journaling or diary, writing stuff down, is write down what you're feeling at that moment when you're tempted to reach for the bottle. And also, this goes back to keeping yourself busy, is find healthy ways to cope with the stress from this. Like we discussed, like video games could be an outlet. Like for me, that's one of my outlets. The Lego. You mentioned music. You mentioned your children. Find something that will get you away from the alcohol. And lastly, and most importantly, be be persistent. You have a goal that you want to quit, that you want to get back to having a healthy relationship with your wife and children, that you don't want the alcohol to be your defining moment. You like downstairs.
No, I'm not trying to go to the mountain.
Stop making sounds.
Oh, God.
But you're not gonna be able to quit right away. You're not gonna be able to quit like that at the snap of a finger. It's gonna take some work. But with you having support of your friends, your family, a doctor, myself, you can get through to this, and you can reach that goal of not needing the alcohol to silence the problems, to numb the pain. And while there is no guarantee that you will quit permanently, but it is an ongoing task because resisting temptation, it's it's a lifetime race, if you will. The race doesn't end, and you just have to be able to fight off the urge. And as long as you keep fighting off that urge, you will succeed in being able to stop drinking. And like I said, I'll go back to this. If you need someone to even just talk to, scream at, anything of that nature, you have my number. If you feel the temptation to drink, um, give me a call. We'll talk. We'll talk it through. Or you go talk to your wife. Your wife is there for you as your number one option when you're having issues. And a lot of men don't like to do that because it shows weakness. And I used to be like that. And I wish I would have been open with myself earlier. But anyway, be open and honest. Let your wife in. Don't push her away. Have fun with your children. But yeah, we can. But yeah, I'll be here for you to help you overcome these issues, and we'll make these changes, and we will see you succeed.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Hector. Hopefully, we will grow from here, and we will see you conquer this.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.